was just reading something about some moderators that popped up. But out of nowhere yesterday, I hear about this draft thing. I haven't heard about this thing at all until yesterday. So they have now passed a bill, a military draft, like they did back in like the whatever it was, the 50s, 60s, 70s years ago, requiring all males age 18 to 26 to enlist in selective services. I'm sitting here like, I just heard about this thing yesterday, and when I heard about it, it was already saying that it passed and that was the law. The thing about this that's spooky to me is that it's very spooky that they haven't even talked about this thing. Like, we haven't been hearing about it. There was no lead up to it. There hasn't been no debates about it. It hasn't been like something that's been circulating around. Just out of nowhere, they're saying they passed this bill. You know what I'm saying? So what that tells me is that there must be something coming down the line, something serious that's about to happen, like real soon. Because what's the need to actually pass a bill like this? Out of nowhere, you just going to do a draft? You know what I'm saying? This is crucial to me. I think this is something serious about to happen. I don't know all the red tape around it and all the details and every little thing about it. You know what I mean? But just the fact that from what I seen that it says, I read like the first couple little paragraphs of it. It sounds exactly like what it was back in the day, a goddamn military draft. Males aged 18 to 26. And that's when they want you, because those are your warrior years. And the thing about that the bigger picture to that age limit is that this is the age limit to where young minorities and just young people in general make the most mistakes. This is the age where they try to make sure you're going to be locked up, try to keep you locked up. These are your warrior years, you know what I mean? 18 to 26. That's why they want to make sure they the rap music, all the stuff they use, this is all tools and weapons that are used to try to make sure that people are in trouble between the ages of 18 to 26, because those are the ages where you got all the energy you're going to have. You're a fighter, you're a warrior, you know what I'm saying? I mean, of course, you can be one younger or older than 18 or 26, but these are your main prime years. That's why so much is put into keeping minorities, young black minorities, any kind of minorities in general, you know what I'm saying? Most of us, like me, we've been wrapped up into the criminal system since we was teenagers. And me, I caught my first charge when I was like 12 years old, I think I was. And that's the result of just being a knucklehead. I ain't saying it's nobody else's fault, but once you get into the system, they make sure it's going to be real hard for you to get up out of the system. You know what I'm saying? They make sure. That's why they try so hard. The probation department, all this stuff they do. Once they get you, they try to definitely keep you wrapped up in the system until you become, like I said, too old to be really out here on some soldier warrior type stuff, because that's when you can make changes, you know what I'm saying? That's when you can make stuff happen. That's when you're out here, you got all the energy, you got passion for stuff. You're really dialed into stuff, you know what I mean? So, like me, I got into the system at 12, I think I was. I was in the system all the way until I was, from 12 to where I was at 24, I think. Non-stop, went from juvenile system to the adult system, in and out of being locked up, out, parole, back in. Like, that's what I'm saying. That's why it's real crucial. Because the thing that a lot of us end up doing, we be like, oh, we're young, we make mistakes when our kids make mistakes and stuff like that. But you got to realize, like, we're really up against the minorities. We don't really got the luxury to just make mistakes and keep making mistakes. You know what I mean? Like how people do. We can't just be making mistakes. In our situations, a lot of us make fatal mistakes at a young age that we can't bounce back from. You know what I'm saying? There's so many minorities that are locked up for life, who are from teenagers, young 20s, you know what I mean, who are gone forever, ain't never coming back because they made a fatal mistake. So it's just crazy, man, because To me, this means that something major is about to happen. Some kind of war. I mean, this thing that's been going on with Russia, it's been kind of in the background. I've been hearing certain people talk about it, certain news stuff. So, but it's kind of like dwindling in the back. Russia has apparently took a bunch of ships over to Cuba or something like that. I don't know the full entire story, supposedly for some training exercise or something. But that's been going on. And like I always say, when I talk about different countries and stuff like that, like say if we go to war with quote unquote Russia or China, it's not really a such thing as different countries. I ain't going to get all too conspiracied out, but ain't no such thing as different countries. You know what I mean? On paper there is, but when it comes to the people that run the world, if Russia comes over here and does something, or China, that's not because Russia or the Chinese government themselves came over and did it. This is just the people who run the world as a collective deciding to attack, and they just put it, the situation, they just need a face for it. You know what I mean? Because they want to say, for instance, they want to come over here and eliminate 1 million U.S. residents. I'm talking about the powers that be as one in general, as a whole. If they feel like they want to get rid of 1 million citizens, of course they ain't going to just come out here and just start killing people. Just killing people, you know what I'm saying, our government. So that's when they say, okay, we're at war. So now they got a war. So now China's going to invade us. So now China comes over and kills 1 million of us. So it means that China killed 1 million people. But in reality, this is just the people who run the world want 1 million people out of the way. You know what I'm saying? You got me hitting the goddamn curb. The people who run the world just want 1 million people out of the way. So it's not like it's really China that did it, or, you know what I'm saying? That's just how it needed to look like that, because then we'll revolt or rebel or jump up if the government starts killing citizens. I'm just using that as being like extreme, you know what I'm saying, as an extreme thing. But this goes on with a bunch of different stuff. It's not just that. Just like the drafts back in the day, a lot of people say that was genocide, and a lot of young minorities to the just to kill them. But trap to get them over there for them to get killed, regardless of what face you put on it. The bottom line is that they needed if they needed 1 million minorities out of the way, it's easy to just be like, oh, they died in war in Vietnam. If you understand the gist of what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? And hit the goddamn like button too. Hit the like button. 39 people in here, one goddamn like. Trying to drop science on y'all jokers, man. Facts. This is stuff that they don't tell you in school. You know what I mean? They're not going to tell you in school that the powers that be is all one unit, and all different countries is all one unit. You got two classes of people. You got the people that run the world and the people that live in the world. We live in the world. The president lives in the world. Trump lives in the world. You know what I'm saying? The people who run the world is people you don't see. You don't see the people who run the world. You know what I mean? You never have and never will see anybody who runs the world. So anybody you think it is, every year we think it's somebody different. Oh, it's the Rockefellers. It ain't the Rockefellers. It's the Rothschilds. It's the DuPonts. It's the Warburgs. Anybody whose name you know and whose face you've seen, that's not who's running the world. Trust me when I tell you. Now, of course, they got more power than a joker like me and you, an average, everyday, regular citizen. Of course, they can do more than we could, and they can get away with a lot more and make more stuff happen. They got a lot more resources. They got a lot more survivability, accessibility to survive and do what they want to do. But anybody's name you heard is not the people who are running the world. Think about it. If you was the man behind the mirror, behind the mask, calling all the shots with the black hand, the iron fist, and you wanted to stay in power, would you let people know who you are? No, you're not even gonna give people opportunity to even come do nothing to you, because that's a smart thing to do. You're not gonna be out here in no war. Even if you're strong, you're not gonna be out here trying to show how strong you are to defeat somebody in a war. You simply would not be known. You know what I mean? So that's how they do it. So long story short, to end this off with, the fact that they're doing the draft, like I said, tells me that something major is about to happen. And all the signs are around us, and they've been around us. So that's not even too far-fetched to even try to get a grasp of, because it's been, we've been a minute away from all out crazy stuff happening for the past couple of years, you know what I mean? So that's just what it is. But shout out to everybody who came through. I can't read the comments because I'm driving, but hit the like button before you get up out of here, you know what I'm saying? if you got children and stuff whose age you're going to be having to enlist and get drafted, and you know what I'm saying, do what you got to do, keep them focused or whatever. And that's about it, man. Happy Juneteenth to everybody who's out there. My family doing Juneteenth right now down in Easton. I started to almost go, but I was like, nah. But yeah, shout out to everybody who came through. Stay out of the way of these jokers, man, and hit that goddamn like button before you get up out of here. I'm gonna come back in a little bit with something else.